The St. Louis Cardinals have come to Atlanta carrying the best record in baseball and a lineup loaded with hits. The Braves are glad to be back home, and they're still atop the East, and they're ready for this midsummer showdown. Tonight, it's game one of a three-game weekend set. The Redbirds and the Braves meet tonight. It is a 60-game sprint to the finish line of this 2013 regular season, and after the All-Star break, tonight the Braves get their first real test. It's a matchup of two first-place ball clubs, and a packed house greets us at Turner Field as the Braves get their first live look at the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip back with you at Turner Field. Atlanta wrapped up a disappointing road trip yesterday against the New York Mets, but home cooking, hopefully a different story. Partner, the Braves have played great baseball here at Turner Field, and this series features two high-scoring offenses that go about it in two very different ways.
Boy, they are complete polar opposites when it comes to the way they score their runs. The St. Louis Cardinals at the top of the league and top of the major leagues in so many different offensive categories, especially in getting on base and scoring runs. They're averaging 5 runs a game. The Braves are fourth in that category in the National League. But look at the on-base percentage, the slugging, those two categories, the Cardinals are 1 and 2. But in the different side of things, the Braves first in home runs, the Cardinals 13th out of 15 teams. If you want to know what the difference is between a team that hits a lot of homers and one that doesn't, look at that bottom line. The Cardinals, when they get them on, they get them around and they get them in.
Those are our Ram Truck Power stats. And so the pitchers today, Adam Wainwright for the Cardinals and Mike Minor, really have to have their A games tonight with these two offenses going toe-to-toe.
Well, here are the pitching stats for the National League, these two teams. ERA, Cardinals and Braves, pretty similar right there, just separated by a fraction. Starters ERA has gone up a little bit for the Braves lately, but Atlanta's bullpen has better numbers. Home runs allowed, the Cardinals, not many. The Braves, also not too many. Good pitching from both sides. The Cardinals are first in the National League in defense. Atlanta is fifth in the National League in defense, so both sides catch the ball, too.
It's been a while since we've seen the St. Louis Cardinals. We won't even talk about postseason play. The Braves beat them 5 of 6 in regular season games last year. Let's hope that continues as game one between the Braves and Redbirds gets underway next.
Braves and Cardinals meet again, and Atlanta will do so, starting a series without veteran Tim Hudson for the first time. You know that he went down with an ankle injury, suffered 2 nights ago in New York. This afternoon at 3 o'clock, he was scheduled to go in for a 90-minute procedure under the care of Dr. Marvin Royster. We don't have results from the surgery just yet, but we do know that the baseball world has been in full support of Tim Hudson since the injury happened.
He was in a good mood, good spirits, and, you know, I'm sure he's doing a lot of reflecting, that kind of stuff, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's got a good support system there with his wife Kim and his family and everybody else here in Atlanta and I'm sure in Auburn and War Eagle country and all that kind of stuff. So he's fine. I know he got a lot of texts. I got a lot of texts myself to deliver messages from guys that played for me or that to wish him best of luck and get well soon messages.
And while his veteran presence is irreplaceable, his spot in the rotation will be filled Monday by Brandon Beachy, Game 1 against the Rockies. Chip?
Okay, Tom, and obviously we echo those sentiments and hope that Tim gets through the surgery in great shape, great spirits, and that he can get on the comeback trail as soon as possible. In the meantime, it's Game 1 tonight, Braves and Cardinals. Here's how Mike Matheny's Redbirds line up. Their Toyota starting 9 is featuring Matt Carpenter, who scored more runs in the National League than anybody else so far this year. He's their second baseman. Shane Robinson's in center. Carlos Beltran loves to hit in Atlanta. He's their right fielder. Alan Craig is in left. Yadier Molina and David Freese catch and play third, respectively, with Matt Adams at first, Pete Cosmos the shortstop, and former Brave farmhand Adam Wainwright pitches and bats ninth.
They'll be facing Mike Minor, who makes his 21st start of the year. His last 3 starts, very good. A 1-1 record, but an even better ERA of 2.11. His season ERA 2.98. And his 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Tonight, he gets a taste of what it's like. He's going to be hooked up with the ace of a first-place club in Adam Wainwright. This is a taste of postseason right here and what it's like. A packed house here at Turner Field. And stretch. Really, that it has to do with the stretch. There's going to be base runners. Don't worry about it. Make your pitches. He's going to have to work out of the stretch given their on-base percentage.
Matt Carpenter takes the ball high, and we're underway. .80 degrees officially at first pitch. As Minor delivers a strike to the Cardinals' second baseman. You're going to hear a lot of 300 batting averages with this Cardinal team. Carpenter's at 325 with 50 RBIs.
Mike's last start at Chicago after the break. Tough luck loser 3-1. He pitched even better than his line, which was 8 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 were earned. Walked 2, struck out 8.
Thought that was a strike. He didn't get the call, however, from Chris Conway, the home plate umpire. Dangerous count now, 3 balls and a strike. That's in the air to center. And that'll be a can of corn for Jose Costanzo. Carpenter's retired, 1 out. Here's a look at the Braves defense. Costanzo's in center. Jason Hayward is in right. Evan Gattis is in left. Justin Upton gets the night off. He has not put up good numbers against Adam Wainwright. Johnson, Simmons, Ugla, and Freeman around the horn. Brian McCann is the Braves catcher. This is Shane Robinson. He's the Cardinals center fielder. And he looks at a strike.
He's been a hot hitter lately and getting a little more playing time with the absence of Matt Holliday, who's on the disabled list.
Matt's been out with a bad hamstring and could be activated as soon as tomorrow for the Cardinals. With a bad hamstring, he's been busy. He and his wife welcomed their 4th child into the world last week and their 3rd son. popped up. Center of the diamond. Who wants this? Looks like Freddie Freeman's got a beat on it, and he does. 2 quick outs.
The Cardinals, with their good record, 62 wins, best record in baseball, they do have a losing record against a couple of clubs. One is Arizona. They've completed their series against them. They are 3-4 against the Diamondbacks, and they are in only 5 games so far against their division rival Pittsburgh. They're 2-3 against the Pirates, but against the National League East, they are 17-6.
Wow. Let's take care of that in Atlanta this weekend with Carlos Beltran, the hitter. Another fine year for the St. Louis outfielder, hitting over 300 with 19 homers. Check swing, strikeout. And if this is a taste of postseason ball for Mike Minor, I think he likes the taste very much. 3 up, 3 down for St. Louis. The Braves come up in a scoreless first. In order in the top of the first. Now Atlanta goes to work with a 31-15 home mark. Andrelton Simmons leads off the Toyota starting lineup with Jason Hayward in right, Freddie Freeman, Evan Gattis, and Brian McCann 3rd through 5th on the lineup card. Dan Uggla, Chris Johnson, Jose Costanza in center field bats 8th, and Mike Minor goes head-to-head with Adam Wainwright,
who will be 32 the end of next month. He's 6'7", 230, lives in St. Simons, Georgia. His last 11 road starts, well, that's not too bad. 8-0 with a 2.81 ERA. 13-5 on the year with the 5th best ERA in the league at 2.44. Is Ford Keys to pitching success tonight? Challenges. Not for him, for the Braves hitter. He challenges you. He gives up hits, but he doesn't walk anybody. Throws hard, has a good curveball and a changeup. And you saw those road numbers. 8-0 in his last 11. Pretty impressive. And he was the June National League Pitcher of the Month.
He might be staring down a bigger prize than that, though, at the end of the season if he keeps up his current pace. Late called strike to Simmons makes it a 2-1 count. First in innings, first in hits allowed, first in fewest walks or walks per 9 innings. 4th in strikeouts, first in complete games and wins is Adam Wainwright for St. Louis.
When you are that high in the league in strikeouts and that high in the league in fewest walks, that tells you that he's got good stuff and he's throwing it by people.
And that's why I was so surprised when we were talking about Wainwright yesterday to see that he's given up more hits than anybody else. maybe we shouldn't be because he's around the plate so much.
And he doesn't give up homers. He's only given up 6 home runs all year in 154 innings.
Andrelton Simmons with 3 homers in his last 30 at-bats. Has a 2-2 count. And that's hit toward third. David Freese scoops it up and throws to first in time. There's out number 1. Excellent defense is part of the Cardinals' recipe for success. You see on our Home Depot tools from the dugout, Joe, just how successfully they catch the ball.
Yeah, that compares with the Braves that have 59 errors. I said earlier the Braves were 5th in the league. Atlanta's actually 6th, but they're 59 compared to their 42.
We're told, though, that as good as the Cardinals are with the gloves, they're not a particularly rangy team. We'll see if that is in play this weekend. And high, I guess, to Hayward. 1 ball, no strikes. That's Mike Matheny, the Cardinals skipper. First Cardinal manager to make the playoffs in his first year since 1946. Hayward broke his bat, and that's popped into foul ground at third base. Freese has that. 2 down.
Wainwright and Minor have a lot of things in common, and one of them is that they both get a lot of run support too. Wainwright averaging over 5.5 runs of support. That's 3rd best in the National League. And Mike Minor is 2nd, 5 3/4 runs a game.
So you look at it on paper, you think, okay, these are 2 really good offensive teams. It might be an offensive shootout. I think we're selling the pitching staff short too.
Yeah, we are.
This might be a very low scoring weekend in Atlanta. Cardinals overall ERA 3rd in the league. The Braves 4th, as you mentioned in the open. So good pitching gets out good hitting. Might be 3 tight ball games. That's yanked foul toward the end of the Braves dugout. Freddie Freeman's the hitter. 2 balls and a strike.
Freddie at 286 on the road trip with a couple of homers.
Hit a long home run against the Mets at Citi Field yesterday.
It's down and in from Zach Wheeler. He's out there by the apple. His 11th of the year. Threw him some cutters at about 90 and 91 miles an hour, then came back with a 78-mile-an-hour curveball just to change his eye level, try to throw him off. Freddie spoiled it.
Swing and a miss, struck him out with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. So the duel is on. Wainwright and Minor through a scoreless first. tonight's Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot, and it's more of that St. Louis offensive work.
Well, these three guys, all stars, doing it offensively. Molina leading the league in batting average, second in doubles, first in road average. They're just all up and down their lineup doing unbelievable stuff. And they're not doing it. They're not leading their division, and they're not leading the league in runs scored on average per game by doing it with homers. They're doing it with high averages.
This is Alan Craig, who looks at a ball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Typically, when you run into a team like this, they're a team that runs a lot too. They steal bases, they hit and run, and all that stuff. Well, they may hit and run some, but they don't run much. They don't try to steal much.
Yeah, the only running they do is going from second base or third base home.
Yes.
They're in a tight race.
And they're playing well right now. They've won 12 of their last 15.
But haven't been able to put away the Pirates or the Reds yet in the National League Central. Last year, the Cardinals, 88-74, finished 9 games behind Cincinnati. And of course, won the controversial playoff game against the Braves here. Beat the Nationals in the division series, and then lost a 7-game thriller to the Giants in the National League Championship Series.
Yeah, had a 3-games-to-1 lead.
One ball, 2 strikes for Craig. And he got jammed. That's popped to shallow left. Simmons drifts out. And the Braves shortstop makes the play, and 4 up, 4 down for Mike Minor. And Joe, really, to me, what's even more remarkable about what the Cardinals have done is that they made an offer to Albert Pujols. He turned down that offer, ended up with the Angels, yet the Cardinals have kept rolling on along without a man who is really the face of their franchise for a decade in St. Louis.
It's because their organization's always been so good, much like that of Atlanta. They just keep spitting out good players and keep on moving. They don't look back.
First pitch swing by Molina is crushed, and St. Louis leads 1-0.
I don't know if anybody else did, but he knew it. Not that he stood and watched it, he just knew it. Out over the plate, Mike's done a good job here. The first 4 hitters to keep the ball in on him. Not that time. And a lot of red-clad Cardinal fans here.
St. Louis leads 1-0. They hit a rare home run from the league's leading hitter, Yadier Molina. The 15th homer allowed by Minor, and it's 1-0 Cardinals. Now David Freese, he pops one into shallow right. Hayward's got that one, 2 outs.
Yeah, certainly one difference between Wainwright and Mike are home runs. 6 allowed by Wainwright, 15 now by Mike.
Here's 6'3", 260-pound Matt Adams, the Cardinal first baseman. The thing that St. Louis has done exceptionally well, Joe, is get value in mid to late round draft pick selections, and Adams no different. He was a 23rd round pick in 2009. That's when Jeff Luhnow was in charge of the Cardinals minor league system. We've got 10 players on their roster that were drafted and developed by this franchise. And Adams one of them. Who, of course, now in charge of the Houston Astros, who are rebuilding through the draft. And according to their minor league numbers, doing it very successfully. 2 balls and a strike.
The Braves have got 7 in their lineup tonight that they signed and developed. Exceptions being Ugla and Johnson.
Now Adams puts a charge into one deep down the right field line. Did that stay fair? It did not.
Isn't this the guy they sometimes call Mount Adams? He's a big lad. Like he might have had a couple of hot dogs before the game.
Cued out of play. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And you're Yadier Molina, and you're widely regarded as the best catcher in the game. And then you have the kind of offensive year he's having on top of that. You may be seeing a Cy Young MVP battery for the Cardinals the way things are going. Good pitch there by Mike.
Gaddis and the Braves can even things up against Adam Wainwright. It's their turn to hit. And Evan Gaddis, since returning from the disabled list, Joe's been another hot Braves hitter.
And he's come back not missing a beat. He's swinging the bat aggressively. Watched him today hit a ball into the second level in left field in batting practice, about 4 rows up. I don't mean in the terrace level. I mean in the next to the 755 club up there.
Wow. That'll work.
Yeah.
15 homers, 39 RBIs for Evan. Mike starts him with a breaking ball. Strike 1. picked up. Cosma at short is on the outfield grass. And he puts the squeeze on that. Wainwright set down his first 4 in order. And Brian McCann is the batter. He's our Wendy's Now That's Better feature.
Last 19 games compared to his previous 18, a sizable increase in batting average and slugging percentage. 5 homers, 14 RBIs over his last 19 games. And no shift on for him to speak of.
Brian didn't like the call. Strike 1. Off the knuckles, out of play over the Cardinals dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a shot, hard hit to right. That one's over the head of Beltran and off the fence. McCann on his way to second, and he'll slide in with a double. Ball is really jumping off Brian McCann's bat.
Like a hanging breaking ball. Oh, yeah. Wainwright's lucky that one bounced against the fence and didn't go over it. McCann did have to reach for it just a little bit, but he got great extension. Braves in business with a 1-out double.
And Dan Uggla's the hitter for the Braves. Dan with 21 homers and a 3-game hit streak. Broken bat, little flare into shallow right. That's going to drop for a hit. Beltran pounced on it quickly. And Atlanta has runners first and third for Chris Johnson.
You see Dan with too many broken bat flare hits. He'll take that one off a tough pitcher. Like a cutter running away from him and hit it right off the end of the bat.
Well, here's a spot where you need some contact, preferably in the air. And that's something, quite frankly, the Braves have been much more successful at over the last 5-6 weeks. Wainwright's looking to get the ball on the ground here with a 1-0 lead. 1 ball, no strikes.
Most of the time you see a team that is very high in the league and turning double plays, that's because they're not a very good ball club and there's a ton of base runners. Not so with this ball club. Most double plays turned in the National League, 117.
And all the bragging we've given the St. Louis Cardinals offensive players, got to give our props to Chris Johnson. He's the 4th best hitter in the league at .326 this season.
Well, we were talking about it on the road trip about how on this homestand you'll see all the top 5 hitters in the league average wise on this homestand, including Michael Kadire, who comes in with Colorado Monday.
One ball, 1 strike. McCann at third. Uggla at first. This was late. Wainwright humped up to 94 with that fastball.
And that's what he can do. He can throw that, kind of lull you to sleep in a way with that 90-mile-an-hour cutter. And then all of a sudden, when he wants to, a 4-seamer, and you can't figure out why you're late on it.
Will spoil that pitch to stay alive.
Here are the 5 gentlemen we've been talking about. Matt Carpenter is the .325 hitter. Chris Johnson, the number 8 hitter. No 8 hitter has won a batting title in the modern era.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball, base hit, we're tied. The Braves have 3 consecutive hits. And Chris Johnson's 34th RBI makes it a 1-1 game.
And another bad breaking ball. Wainwright got ahead of him with hard stuff, and then a hanger that stayed right out over the plate. No stride for Chris. Stayed back, waited. Great job. Good piece of hitting by one of the top average hitters in the league.
Now the speedy Jose Costanza bats. He's the center fielder tonight and batting 8th in front of Mike Minor. That's tipped into the glove of Molina for a strike.
Costanza was, at least for a couple of rounds in batting practice today, really focusing on trying to go the other way, maybe in an effort just to stay on the pitches a little bit longer.
Cardinals are starting a hugely important road trip tonight. 3 in Atlanta, 5 at Pittsburgh, and then 3 against the Reds. And after getting a 1-0 lead, Wainwright's given it right back to Atlanta in the second. 3 straight Braves hits with 1 out. To short. Cosma to second, 1. Costanza beat the rap at first. Great job by St. Louis to make that as close as it was. But the speed of Costanza keeps the inning alive for Mike Minor.
Hustling out of the box all the way, and he had to prevent the double play. Inning still alive, and at the very least it clears the pitcher for next inning. But Mike Minor not too shabby this year with the bat, a 111 average, but he has hit a homer, 4 for 36, a double included,
and 4 RBIs too. Let's see if he can help himself here. First and third, 2 outs. He does help himself with a go-ahead single. It's 2-1. Little things mean an awful lot when you are playing good teams, and the hustle of Costanza led to Minor's at bat and the go-ahead hit.
That's a great point, Chip. Kept the inning going. Mike jumps on the first pitch, a cutter, an 89-mile-an-hour cutter that was about belt high. Put a good swing on it, helped himself, now has the lead.
First and second for Andrelton Simmons.
We've been talking about bragging on the Cardinals and they're hitting with runners in scoring position. The Braves are 3 for 4 this inning in that category.
Down in to even the count. Big crowd at Turner Field tonight for the Cardinals and Braves, and fireworks after the game. Ground ball to short. Cosma's got it, and he'll make the peg to first. And that'll retire the side. What an inning for Atlanta. They score twice and do it with 4 hits, going 3 for 4 with runners in scoring position in the process. Mike Minor leads 2-1 after 2. AT&T Uverse. By AT&T Uverse, by Delta Airlines, and by Ford. Two very different offensive styles took a page out of each other's offensive book. Yeah. The Cardinals don't hit as many homers as the Braves, but have one from Molina. The Cardinals have the highest batting average in baseball with runners in scoring position. The Braves got 3 hits and 4 tries in that scenario. They scored twice last time up and lead by a run going to the 3rd. Cosma, Wainwright, and Matt Carpenter coming up for the Redbirds. Cosma, 242 average, a homer, 31 knocked in. With the trade deadline 5 days away, been some whispers around the Cardinals, maybe looking to upgrade their shortstop position. And Cosma hits one the other way on an 0-1 count. We'll have an extra base hit. Hayward digs it out of the corner. It's a leadoff double for St. Louis. Cosma's 15th two-bagger of the year.
Well, here we go. Pitching duel, right? Braves already with 4 hits and 2 runs. And another fastball that was missed on location and up. Mike's got to get the ball down. Had a little trouble with that last inning.
Wainwright will try to bunt. At least he showed it. And he does. And it's a good one. It's Johnson with bare hand. High throw to first. But in time to take care of Wainwright. The sacrifice moves Cosma to 3rd. 1 out for the top of the Cardinal order.
It's the 7th sacrifice for Adam, who's a threat with the bat himself. 6 career homers.
So our first test with a runner in scoring position for the St. Louis offense. And it's Carpenter with 50 RBIs, as I said, out of the leadoff spot. Infield comes in with 1 out. Ball 1 inside.
Tander's only hitting .207 against Mike coming into play tonight.
In the air, shallow right. Hayward's galloping in. He gets there. The runner will retreat to third. Big second out.
That's not easy to do when you're running that hard to try to get to the ball, to get your feet under you so that you are in a good fundamental position to throw the ball. Having run that far, he didn't have that far a throw, that lengthy a throw to make there. So you can just airmail it too. No other base runners. Might as well fire it all the way in the air.
So the Atlanta infield defense can back up to normal depth. And Shane Robinson is the hitter. He popped out to Freddie Freeman in his first try tonight. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Good pitch. Worked on the backdoor breaking ball and got a call.
Line foul. And Minor a strike away from sending this to the bottom of the third. Good stop. What does Mike have in mind on a 2-2 count?
I think another fastball, but maybe in. I was thinking they might throw a fastball, then the change up, but it's going to be the change first.
And it's tapped back to the mound. Minor got it and gets out of the inning. The Cardinals got a leadoff double and could not tie the game. The Braves are up in the third, leading by a run. awfully sharp in his first 3 innings of work against the Cardinals tonight. Let's hope that continues for the rest of the Braves staff. For Game 2 against the Redbirds comes your way here tomorrow, and here are the Chevron upcoming starters.
National Fox broadcast. It'll be Joe Kelly, 1-3 for St. Louis against Julio Teheran, 7-5. Julio came back strong from the All-Star break, well rested, and he'll be making his second start. Never pitched against the Cardinals before. Second start, I should say, since the break.
How about the Braves capitalizing on some Adam Wainwright mistakes last inning? 2 runs on 4 hits. And now the 2, 3, 4 spots come up again for Braves. He's missed with 3 in a row.
His 8 strikeouts to every walk ratio, the best in the National League.
Hayward drives one to right, and that'll be caught by Carlos Beltran, who came charging in. Jason Hayward is out number 1.
Beltran had a little trouble range-wise himself after he had those knee injuries that plagued him when he was with the Mets. But he's gotten his legs back under him in the last couple of years. Covers a lot more ground now in right field than he did.
And I read a while back he said he'd like to play a couple more seasons, whether that's in St. Louis or someplace else. He's had a terrific big league career, a lifetime .282 hitter.
And 19 homers this year.
Foul off the bat of Freddie Freeman, strike 1.
Well, I tell you, if Wainwright doesn't get his changeup and breaking ball down, he's going to be short tonight on his outing.
Big house in Atlanta. Youngsters have their game faces on.
Big Freeman fan there.
Yeah. A swing and a miss. That ball darting down and away from Freddie Freeman for out number 2. 2 strikeouts. Wainwright's gotten the Braves first baseman both times.
We showed you his road numbers lately. Last 11 road starts, he's 8-0. But his last 2 road starts, he's given up 4 runs each time and gotten no decisions.
Here's Evan Gattis. Gattis popped out his first time up. And he lines one off the pitcher's glove, and that got through into center field. Gattis hit a laser beam.
To get out of the way of that.
So a 2-out hit brings up Brian McCann. Brian doubled to right and scored the first Braves run an inning ago. Strike 1. has 14 RBIs in the last 19 games played. Wainwright and Molina know that. See how carefully they work to him even with 2 outs.
The last 2 changeups have been more Wainwright like. The strikeout of Freeman and that one down and away to Bryan. Well, McCann didn't offer.
No shift, or at least one we have usually seen against McCann, although Carpenter's out on the grass and right as the St. Louis second baseman.
That means Cosmo's got to take any throw to second if they want to go the short way from anybody. Good swing.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ryan was among those anxious to get home because he was away during the All-Star break and then had to go right back out on the road for the road trip.
Full count. So Gaddis will get a head start with 2 outs. Tells Wainwright he'll play behind the runner at first.
Adam Wainwright had a game in Anaheim where he shook off Molina a couple of times and it cost him. He didn't have a very good changeup that night, and he wanted to throw the changeup, shook off Molina, and he got burned with it. And he said, that might have been the only 2 times I've shaken off Molina since we've been here together.
Fly ball, well hit to right again, but Beltran backed up about 5 steps and was there to make the play. Tough luck for McCann. The Braves strand Gaddis, and we go to the 4th. Atlanta has the lead. Beltran, Craig, and Yadier Molina coming up for the second time against Mike Minor. Beltran struck out to end the first. jumps on the first pitch and skies it to left. That's playable for Evan Gattis. And also Blanco puts that away for out number 1.
One thing that will help Mike tonight is getting that leadoff guy. He gave up the leadoff double to Cosma in the 3rd inning and pitched around it. But because they get so many hits and they've done such a good job of hitting with men in scoring position, you get that first guy, that leadoff guy every inning, it sure puts a crimp in their offensive thoughts.
Alan Craig's the batter. He popped out to the shortstop and takes a strike.
This guy's been a good hitter since the day he got to the big leagues. Platooned a little bit when he first came up, but always hit.
Not a first-round pick, not 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th. He was an 8th-round pick for the Cardinals, and is a lifetime 300 hitter in the big leagues.
Somebody saw something.
Cardinals very wisely locked this guy up. He signed through 2017, a team option for 2018. He was their cleanup hitter last year. Played the outfield, played first base. Last year hit 400 with runners in scoring position.
That's just crazy. Crazy stuff,
right?
Cardinals also locked up Wainwright, who could have been a free agent at the end of the year. They gave him a very lucrative deal near the end of spring training.
That's fouled by Craig. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's to right. And right in the glove of Jason Hayward. 2 up, 2 down. Here's the catcher, Yadier Molina. For more on him, let's check in with Tom Hart.
Chip, it's been an amazing career for Yadier Molina, long known as one of the best defensive catchers in baseball. He's won the last 4 Gold Gloves behind the plate and is a 5-time All-Star. But it's his offense that has come around in a big way this season. A career .284 hitter. You know he's leading the National League in hitting. He's tied for 2nd in doubles, tied for 4th in 35 extra base hits. He told me today that it's just a byproduct of all the work that he's put in the postseason. The work has been there since his rookie year, 2004. He started Game 4 of the World Series in front of his now manager, Mike Matheny.
That's good stuff, Tom. I mean, he has always been known as the best catcher in the game, both calling the game and skill-wise. And again, when he's that good, when he's that really that head and shoulders above everybody else defensively, for him to do this offensively, he's got to be the top MVP candidate at this point.
And not just Gold Gloves, Joe and Tom, but Platinum Gloves. The first 2 Rawlings Platinum Gloves were voted to the best defender at any position in the big leagues. This guy won the first 2. So when you talk about highest paid catchers in baseball, he can call it, he can catch it, he can hit it, he can throw it.
And yeah, he shuts down running games. And he's one of what, 4 brothers that have caught in the big leagues?
I forget the number. I just know one of his brothers is the assistant hitting coach with the Cardinals, Benji. Yeah, there were 3. Yadier, Benji, and Jose Molina. And their dad, Benji Sr., was a terrific player in Puerto Rico. And he did something he rarely does. He just struck out. Mike Minor is sharp, folks. He set down 6 straight Cardinals, and he leads by a run in the 4th. That kid's got the right idea. Check him out. See the ball, hit the ball. That's the way this game's supposed to work. As we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, Atlanta leads that man, Adam Wainwright, 2-1. And our AT&T Universe trivia question asks who's the only pitcher since 2007 with more wins and a lower earned run average than Adam Wainwright, whose totals are 91 wins and a 3.04 mark.
It's a tough one. Look north and a little bit toward Philly on that one.
The right-handed one or the left-handed one?
I think the right-handed. I'm thinking Roy Halladay. Yeah.
That's the name I wrote down first. Cliff Lee might be a guess too. Who, by the way, is going to miss his start tomorrow. A stiff neck is why Lee is being scratched. Maybe all those home runs he gave up, right?
Head snapping around.
Nothing going right for the Phillies. Who may be dealing at the deadline. Ruben Amaro said today, look, our plans are to keep Cliff Lee because we think he's part of the future, but if someone calls and wants to knock our socks off, they'd certainly listen. Butler lost the bat and ends up in the back of the Cardinal dugout.
Snitker has retrieved the bat, but it's like Dan's going to reload with another one.
I'm always amazed at how far those guys can throw the bat when they lose the handle.
Well, it's amazing me how guys with 2 batting gloves and pine tar and rosin and everything else lose the grip. Gives you an idea, though, that they don't squeeze the sawdust out of it.
2-2. Did he go? No, he did not. And Wainwright just threw his 55th pitch.
You said something about knocking your socks off. How about Washington getting their socks knocked off today? First game of the doubleheader, Mets beat them 11-0.
That was Jordan Zimmerman who started game 1 for the Nationals.
Owie.
That's 2 bad ones in a row for him. And now they're staring down the barrel of Matt Harvey in game 2, and that one's tied 1-1. We're talking with some of the Mets people. By the end of the weekend, Joe, they might be in second place in the East.
Good for them. We saw them for 4 days. Saw how well they're playing.
Slow breaking ball got Ugla to swing and miss. And that's the 3rd strikeout for Adam Wainwright. As it stands now, the Eastern Division shapes up this way. The Braves have an 8-game lead over Washington and the Phillies. 8.5 pending the outcome. Washington's game 1 loss, I should say. The Mets 9.5 back. Waiting for the outcome of game 2 there and tonight's ball game here in Atlanta. Washington has won 1 game at home since the All-Star break, and that was the miraculous win for them yesterday when Bryce Harper hit the game-ending homer after they blew a 4-run lead in the 9th.
Apparently Soriano wasn't too excited about coming into a game in a non-save situation and pitched like it.
Chris Johnson tied the game with a 2-strike single his last time up. Now Wainwright's pitch is starting to cut and dart a little more. 1-2. See the commemorative patch on the Cardinals uniform top. honoring the late great Stan Musial.
Well, it was cool today that their TV broadcasters on their polo shirts that they were wearing for tonight's game had the number 6 logo on their sleeve. They looked sharp in their polo shirts.
Warm night? Absolutely. Johnson couldn't stop his swing, and he's struck out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wainwright.
He's getting the ball down now, and that's a huge difference for him. He said it'd be a short night if he didn't, and he's already made an adjustment on both with his changeup and his breaking ball.
Cool number I just looked up on Stan Musial. Played 3,026 major league games. 3,630 hits.
That's doubling up on a couple of occasions.
Amazing. And Stan Musial, born on November 21st in Donora, Pennsylvania. Birth date and birth city shared by one of the game's great center fielders. Since retired, Ken Griffey Jr. And don't forget Musial, 1945, missed a year because of World War II. Missed a full season in the prime of his career. A lifetime .331 hitter and
.331.
One of the most beloved Cardinals ever. And they've got a stable full of them that are all very involved, much like the Braves alumni are here in Atlanta.
Career .331 hitter.
Good or bad?
That's pretty good.
I think, I don't have his home road splits, but I think he was within 1 or 2 hits of having the same number of hits at home and on the road.
I think you're right. I remember reading that.
I don't remember what the split was, but what a player. And Costanza is struck out. Wainwright just punched out the side in a scoreless 4th inning. On we go to the Redbirds' 5th. It's a 2-1 Atlanta game. And holding 2 good offenses at bay. It's a 2-1 Atlanta game heading to the 5th inning as we enjoy our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard.
Biggest differential in winning percentage from home and road. The Braves with the biggest Great home numbers at 31 and 15. They have been tough here at Turner Field, but on the road not so much. 26 and 30.
This is David Freese, the Cardinals' third baseman. He popped out to right his first and only time up. What a thrill it must be for Freese. He's a St. Louisan. Went to Lafayette High School. That's the same high school that Ryan Howard attended of the Philadelphia Phillies. It's out in West St. Louis County.
That's where you grew up. I mean, is that how you say that? A St. Louisan? Or did you just make that up?
No, that's how you say it.
I mean, I'm serious.
It's just St. Louis.
Not a St. Louisite.
No, it's an N. 3 balls, no strikes. And that caught a corner. Dangerous pitch. And Freese fouled it off. I hope our audience will beg my pardon. I gave you an inaccurate stat about Stan Musial. He was off a bit on the hits. In his career, he had 1,815 hits at home, 1,815 hits on the road.
Exactly the same.
Isn't that incredible? Always a smile on the face of Stan Musial when we'd see him at the ballpark in St. Louis, always with his trademark harmonica, ready to play Take Me Out to the Ball Game. He will be missed.
And always a standby this time of year in Cooperstown too, playing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, the ceremonies. Induction ceremonies taking place this weekend, Sunday. I was disappointed that Craig Biggio didn't get voted in this year. I thought he was a lock. Not so.
And you say broad brush. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Freese smacks one into right. Hayward comes charging and diving in. He makes the play. The Atlanta defense showing up in the ball game tonight in good fashion. Excellent catch. And 7 straight set down by Mike.
Boy, he's been playing some great defense, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Whether in center field or in right, this was not an easy play because it was smoked. And you didn't have to make necessarily a shoestring catch, and that's why he kind of played it to the side as he rolled. Much to the appreciation of Mike Minor, but that was a good adjustment by Jason. Didn't have to make a shoestring catch because it was about maybe a foot off the ground. Heck of a play.
Adams nearly homered his first time up, and he's got an even count.
Like Yadier Molina, who wears a gold emblem on his chest protector and on his glove. You can see the logo on Jason's glove also in gold, emblematic of his Gold Glove award last year.
Minor wants a new baseball and will get one. Popped up. Third base side, Chris Johnson takes a peek. Plenty of room. Nearly overran it. And battled the lights in that high sky. And made the grab for out number 2.
Good breaking ball from Minor.
Here's Pete Kozma. He doubled in the St. Louis third.
You were saying that maybe the Cardinals would be shopping around for another shortstop, and it could be one that may provide them a little more offense as if they needed more offense. But I think maybe for Kozma, who doubled his first time up, hitting .242 coming in, some of that some of that help maybe for defense too, because you were talking about some of their guys not having a ton of range, and the knock on Cosma has been that he doesn't have much range to his left, doesn't go up the middle too well to his glove side.
Well, he wasn't plan A at the start of the year. Remember, Rafael Furcal
Right.
had to have Tommy John surgery late in spring training. It just never came around for him. And so Cosma's gotten the bulk of the playing time with the Cardinals. The name that we heard about a week and a half ago was Alexi Ramirez of the White Sox, that may be on the radar for the Redbirds. But I'm with you. It doesn't look like they need another guy to get lots of hits, catch the ball, and make the routine plays. Boy, they've had some great shortstops play in St. Louis, haven't they?
They have indeed. One of the best trades ever made was to get Ozzie Smith for them.
That was for Gary Templeton. Carlos played there. Edgar Renteria played there. Now it's Cosma, who just struck out looking. And Mike Minor has retired 9 in a row. He's having himself a little league kind of night. He leads the Cardinals, and he's got an RBI hit too.
When the Braves got on the board in the second inning and took the lead, it was on the hustle of Jose Constanza that extended the inning. He prevented a double play by that much, and that brought Mike Minor to the plate. And on the first pitch to Mike, he delivered a single. That plated the second run of the inning, and that's where we stand at 2-1. And the Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light.
Let's see if Atlanta can add on against Wainwright. He too is pitching effectively. He's retired 7 of the last 8 Braves hitters. Minor has retired 9 in a row. Mike picked up his 5th RBI that put the Braves in front. That was in the 2-run second. Right there for a strike.
You don't see too many pitchers these days stand with the getting the sign with the ball in the hand they pitch with, and holding it behind them like Adam does before he goes to the glove. Most guys take the sign with the ball in their glove, and there's a reason for that. There are some pitchers who tip off the pitch when they bring it back from behind them to go to the glove. They may have their wrist wrapped kind of where they show a lot of white on the baseball that would indicate a curveball's coming. And the fear of tipping a pitch in that fashion keeps most guys getting their sign with the ball already in the glove.
Minor a good cut, stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's always had a good curveball. Remember when he had to close for the Cardinals late one year after Isringhausen got hurt and got the last out in the World Series for the World Championship? It's a heck of a closer for him.
A John Smoltz-like career for the Cardinals. Adam Wainwright, who really is, I guess, Joe, a cautionary tale about making deadline deals. Trade with the Cardinals and Braves happened in the offseason, but when you try to add to your ball club and try to go for it and win the whole thing, sometimes you give up an awful lot of your future. And Braves got J.D. Drew trying to win a World Series. Didn't work out. The Cardinals got Adam Wainwright, who's their #1 starter in return. Simmons, the Braves leadoff man, is 0 for 2. So with Tim Hudson going down, quite obviously all the talk in Atlanta is, what will the Braves do at the deadline?
Well, let's go back to the Wainwright story. That when that deal went down in the winter meetings, the story I heard, and I'd have to confirm that with a couple of other people that were there, but that one of the only guys that really stood up and said don't include Wainwright in the deal was Roy Clark, who had been the head of scouting for the Braves and had drafted and signed him. He didn't want to give him up. He had won 35 games. I think he was 35 and 26 in the minor leagues for the Braves, and had won in double digits a couple of times.
Baseball America had him as the #1 pitching prospect for the Braves and the #2 pitching prospect in all of baseball in 2001. But if you win the World Series, nobody complains about making that deal.
But J.D. Drew played great for Atlanta. He
Right.
had a terrific year, but then became a free agent and was gone.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Little cue shot toward first, and an easy play for Adams. He's got it. And that snaps Wainwright's strikeout run at 4 batters, but that's the second out of the inning. So I'm sure the Braves' thinking had to have been altered as the deadline approaches. Are they going to go after a starting pitcher? Are they going to add to the bullpen? Are they going to add a bat? Nobody knows the answer to that question, and Frank Wren has said that with the young pitching the Braves have, is any starter that's on the market going to be that much better than what's already in the Braves stable?
Yeah, that's what they've got to decide. I don't know that it has to do with anything other than maybe a veteran guy, a guy who's been there and done that, who's been through the wars of a pennant race or pitched in postseason. I think that's the kind of guy that they would have to be thinking about, if any at all. But with all the speculation and rumors that writers, TV analysts that have to make a story or make one up and think that something's going to happen, a lot of it's speculation.
That's whacked to left center by Hayward and gone. He hit that ball a ton.
The other way. ever since July 6th in Philadelphia. But he smokes this ball the other way. But it was up. Another mistake upstairs by Wainwright. It was to the outside part of the plate, but Jason did a great job getting that front foot down and taking it the other way. What a game for him, defensively and now at the plate.
And a little more breathing room for Mike Minor. It's a 3-1 score now. Only the 7th home run given up by Adam Wainwright this year. And it's covering almost 160 innings.
He's pitched Freddie tough. Made him look bad on a changeup last time up, and that was a good slow curve. Whatever he's thrown middle in, Freddie's yanked it foul with some authority.
Went fishing that time and came up empty. And the throw to first retires the side. Jason Hayward's been great with the glove. And he adds a big blow with the bat. His 8th homer makes it 3-1 Atlanta.
Have extended their lead. They are active on the trade market, but as Frank Wren said today, they may not be able to find what they're looking for.
I've never seen a trade market as tight, as thin in the number of available players, and I think a big part of that is with the additional wild card. There's so many teams that are still close enough that they're not ready to give up. They're not ready to start trading pieces. That there's a lot more of us that are in it than those that are out of it. And it's a real seller's market.
There are really 3 key starters that are available right now. One of them, Bud Norris in Houston, is so sure that he'll be traded that he has already packed up all of his belongings in Houston with the team on the road. He doesn't expect to return. And he told at least one member of the Braves that he is looking for answers on where he might end up and hoping it's Atlanta. Here's a guy who's never pitched in the postseason before. He's been with the Astros his entire career. He doesn't know what it's like to pitch for a contender.
Well, there's a pretty good chance, it sounds like, Tom. He's going to find out. The only question is, for whom?
Like I said, I can't imagine that. No, that's not the right terminology. I would suspect that the Braves, in their looking, are trying to find that Tim Hudson type guy who's been there and done that and has that type of experience, and not someone who's more comparable in terms of postseason experience to who the Braves already have.
And maybe this is a silly question, but one of your keys tonight, as Wainwright grounds to second, for Mike Minor tonight. This is a taste of a postseason type game, but clearly it's not the postseason. Does this give him, does this give Frank Wren, Freddie Gonzalez, Roger McDowell an idea of how he might perform under the pressure of October?
I think so. There's nothing that compares to October, but this is a big game against arguably the best pitcher in the National League right now, and Adam Wainwright. This is a head-to-head meeting against the ace of another club that's in first place that many people think is the best team in your league, and he's handling himself great so far.
Matt Carpenter takes a strike. And Joe, the other thing that we all have to remember is Brandon Beachy hasn't pitched an inning for the Major League Ball Club this year, and at the time of his injury last season, you can argue he was the most effective starter on this staff and was one of the top right-handed pitchers in our league.
Yeah, he was leading the league in ERA, but there's no guarantees that he's going to return immediately to that type of success. You just don't know.
So while we all sit and wait and wonder what, if anything, will happen for the Braves on the transaction wire before the deadline, another cautionary tale. Ryan Dempster. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Well, I was trying to get out of your way a second ago when Jason hit that home run when I was talking about all the stories written by writers or TV analysts or whatever, and I picked the wrong word when I said speculation. Most of it's fabrication. It's just trying to make stories, and the fans like that. They like seeing who might be out there and who might come in and help your ball club if your club's interested in them. They want to know who the Braves are interested in. Makes for a lot of good chatter.
Full count pitch to Carpenter. And that one served inside the third base bag and headed toward left. That's what the Cardinals do an awful lot of. They'll get 2 strikes, they'll fight, and they'll put it in play. And in the case of Carpenter, something very good just happened. He's at second with 1 out.
Snaps a string of 10 straight, retired by Mike. Perfect angle right here. Just a little slicer down the line.
So Mike to the stretch for the first time since the 3rd inning. That's the frame that saw him pitch around a leadoff double for the Cardinals. And now McCann and Minor want to talk it over with a runner at second base.
Guys, another one of those trade targets for a lot of teams is Jake Peavy. The Braves had Jim Fergosi in Chicago to get a look at him. But Frank Wren pointed out that trip to Chicago for Fergosi was scheduled weeks ago, well before Tim Hudson suffered that ankle injury in New York. In fact, he pointed out that most of June and all of July, their major league scouts, instead of looking at prospects in the minor leagues, have been in major league ballparks this entire time, and they've planned out exactly who they want to see and where, adding that Chicago, the White Sox that is, have a lot of arms available, and Peavy might just be one of them.
And ironically, too, or coincidentally, Tom, the White Sox are playing Kansas City, which has Irvin Santana supposedly available.
And one of the White Sox assistants to the GM, Dave Yoakum, is here scouting for the White Sox, not so coincidentally tonight.
No balls and a strike for Shane Robinson. And he bounces one to Simmons. And for the first in time, no advance of Carpenter. That's the second out. And here's Beltran. Anytime you see this guy come to the plate in Atlanta, you have to sit at the edge of your seat. He loves hitting against the Braves. He loves hitting at Turner Field. Carlos Beltran is a lifetime .327 hitter in Atlanta. In 56 games, he's hit 12 home runs here.
He played in relative obscurity in Kansas City early in his career, and then he got traded when he was on the verge of being a free agent to Houston, and almost single-handedly put Houston into the World Series for the first and only time. But that incredible postseason he had that year made this man a lot of money. He then signed a huge deal with the Mets.
That was the 2004 Division Series against the Braves when he went 10 for 22 with 4 home runs and 9 RBIs for Houston.
And the rest of the way that year in the World Series.
Let's see, 04 LCS, hit .417 against the Cardinals in 7 games. 4 homers and 5 RBIs in that series. You had 8 homers in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that he was able to duplicate that in the World Series, but what he did, again, just almost a one-man wrecking crew to get them to the series.
3 balls and a strike. And like a lot of veteran guys that the Cardinals have seemingly gotten in years past, he gets to St. Louis and his career is rejuvenated. He's playing as well as ever despite the medical problems he's faced. But not this time. He's going to bounce to short. Mike Minor pitches around another Cardinal in scoring position, and he maintains a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the 6th. Inning at Turner Field. Big crowd. I mean, upper 40s in attendance tonight, where Delta Airlines is a proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves.
Time for Georgia Power Energy Tip number 1. Tyler Pasternak number 1. In less than 15 minutes, learn ways to make your home more energy efficient with Georgia Power's free online energy checkup. Visit georgiapower.com/energy checkup.
In the Braves 6th, Gaddis, McCann, and Ugla. Gaddis said hello to Wainwright with a line drive right back through the box. Adam got a glove on it, but couldn't slow it down. you say he was hitting homers in BP today?
Up there in the second deck in left field, next to the 755 club. About 4 or 5 rows up into that section. Greg Walker told me he hit 2 or 3 up there in BP just before the break.
Big breaking ball. And Gaddis took it for a called strike. Top of the hour in Atlanta. Just past the top of the hour in Atlanta. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. The clock above the chop house got me.
Well, it got me tonight. That's why I was almost late for work.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's just a little shy of where the big hand ought to be.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Braves want Gaddis's bat in the lineup. He's going to get a lot of playing time here in the second half. And why not? He's hit safely in 7 of his last 9 games with 10 hits in that stretch. And despite only playing 62 games, leads all big league rookies in homers and RBIs. It's 24 games in the league. And he's rallied from an 0-2 count to a 3-2 count. Let's see what the Cardinals come up with on a full count to Gaddis. And that's in the dirt, ball 4. What an at bat. Evan was behind 0-2. He coaxes a leadoff walk. A rare base on balls issued by Wainwright. And a good start to the Atlanta 6th. Fans celebrate Sundays at Turner Field with your family this summer. Take part in great activities like the Alumni Sunday autograph sessions. Kids run the bases and more. And the Braves are offering $6 off all Sunday upper box tickets. Visit Braves.com/Sunday for details today.
That was the 5th full count for Wainwright tonight. He's at 95 pitches here in the 6th.
On to Brian McCann. Brian doubled over the head of Beltran his first time. Hit a screamer to right his second time. But Beltran had backed up a few steps before contact was made, and Carlos made the out easily.
Yeah, that was a veteran move by Beltran. There were 2 outs in the inning, runner on, so he backed up a little bit, and that proved to be a key in making that catch. Good eye by Brian on a couple of pitches, a couple of cutters, one outside, one inside. Able to lay off both of them.
Popped up left side over by the Cardinal dugout. Freese gives chase and can't get there in time.
was a break for Brian on what was a good pitch by Wainwright. That time, two-seamer. I'm not sure it was cutter, but a two-seamer got in on him a little bit.
Strike three over the outside corner. I mean, he threaded the needle with that pitch.
Sure did. One of the best pitches he's made tonight. 8 strikeouts.
And right at 100. Here's Ugla with a runner aboard, 1 out. Joe mentioned about Wainwright, 8-1 strikeouts to walks. Tonight, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. And in case you wondered, his season high is 12 strikeouts for Wainwright. Don't know if he'll be around that long. He's over 100 pitches, has 1 out in the 6th.
That came in his 3rd start of the year against Milwaukee, which was a complete game, 4-hit shutout, no walks, 12 strikeouts.
Toward third, Freeze will fire to Carpenter at second, and the return to first is in time. A double play ends the inning. Wainwright got the ball on the ground. Cardinals turn their first twin killing and trail by 2. Talked earlier about Tim Hudson undergoing surgery today. Elizabeth Morrow has further news.
Well, Chip, I got to talk to Kim a little bit today. She sent me a text. She said Tim is doing really, really well. The surgery went well. They're going to be there for a few days, but they are all so grateful for all of the support. And I wanted to show you this tweet. This picture was sent out. We know how much the Hudsons do for the community, and especially kids in hospitals. They sent out this tweet. The Aflac Cancer Center said the kiddos have Tim Hudson on their minds. Get well soon, Huddy. All of those kids holding up autographed Tim Hudson baseballs.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta today, we understand, had a baseball-themed day, had ballpark food in the cafeteria at the hospital, encouraged all the patients, the doctors, the nurses, the healthcare workers to wear Braves memorabilia, all to support Tim and Kim Hudson, who are so incredibly generous with their time and their money, helping the Children's Healthcare Group in Metro Atlanta and elsewhere with the Hudson Family Foundation. And we understand they're watching tonight, and we're all thinking about you, Kim and Tim.
Yeah, Kim apparently tweeted that he's out of surgery and watching the game, and watching Tim cheer on his teammates with pain meds in the system is very entertaining. So get the pom-poms out.
Atta baby. Alan Craig versus Mike Minor, and it's pumped out of play, foul. And still 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Braves made a defensive switch. Jose Costanza is now in left field for Evan Gattis. Reed Johnson takes over in center field. Gattis with a 1-for-2 night and a base on balls at the plate. That's foul at third. Wayne Minor's pitching with the lead against Wainwright. Up your defensive capabilities in the outfield with Costanza and Johnson.
Well, he didn't let the home run bother him in the second. That put him behind 1-0. He's given up a homer and a couple of doubles. He's pitched around the doubles. One was a leadoff double. He stayed out of the middle of the plate, kept the ball down, and very effective. And I know Tim would be very proud of him tonight against this good hitting team,
which is 0-for-4 tonight with runners in scoring position. It's probably not happened too often to the Cardinals this year. Mike's allowed 3 hits. He's ahead of Alan Craig, the Cardinal cleanup man. And he just struck him out of the inside corner.
How about that two-seamer? That's 5 strikeouts for Mike. Little two-seamer to a right-handed hitter. Backed up a little bit. Got the call.
So Molina is the only Cardinal to touch the plate. It's the first pitch swing in the second, and he hit it a country mile. Strike 1.
He was ready to load up on that first pitch fastball too, but got crossed up with a good hook.
Roller toward third. Johnson charges, guns across in time. Molina's out number 2.
Molina does not run well. He has catcher speed, so plenty of time here for Chris to get his feet under him a little bit, take his time to make a good throw.
And a strike to former World Series and NLCS MVP David Freese. 21 RBIs in the 2011 postseason for the Cardinal third baseman.
Well, what he did to the Texas Rangers that one night, was that Game 6? I don't know if any player's ever had anything like that happen to him before.
He strokes a 1-strike single to left. That's the 4th Cardinal hit. That's still. I mean, Atlanta knows about the 1991 World Series and the classic 7-game matchup between the Cardinals and Twins. There's some who say that Game 6 for St. Louis, one of the best World Series, if not the best World Series games played, and that the Cardinals were down to their last strike not once but twice, won the game, and ended up winning the World Series.
Well, he did it.
Yeah, he was the guy.
He hit a triple off the wall with 2 out in the 9th, and then hit a home run in the 10th or 11th to win it.
Matt Adams with 2 outs. A lot of power. Be careful with him. And high and tight. That almost took the feathers off the Cardinals on his uniform top. For effect, outside for result. 1 ball, 1 strike. To left and playable for Costanza. Jose's there and has it. 7th inning stretch. 3-1 Atlanta with the bottom part of the order 2 up. Always good to be back at Turner Field, where the Braves have played dominant baseball this year, and an always special night when the Cardinals come to town. A battle of 2 first-place clubs. And Joe, Game 1 has lived up to the advanced billing, with Atlanta leading by a 3-1 score entering the home half of the 7th inning. Minor versus Wainwright. Here's how we've gotten to our Crown Royal game summary.
And it didn't start like a pitching duel. I mean, the Cardinals with the home run in the 2nd, and the Braves 4 hits and 2 runs in the 2nd inning themselves. Hayward a homer in the 5th, but it's lived up to it. 6 hits for the Braves, only 4 for the Cardinals. Mike Minor has been outstanding tonight.
Let's see if the Braves can give him a little more insurance. Chris Johnson gets it started. His RBI hit in the 2nd, tie the game at 1 apiece. Ball, 1 strike.
Wainwright against Atlanta has pretty much owned them in 7 starts, 6-1 with a 2.98 ERA. The only loss was last year. Brandon Beachy beat him in St. Louis when the Braves swept the Cardinals. In fact, the Braves won 5 of the 6 meetings in regular season. And of those 7 starts here at Turner Field, he's undefeated coming into tonight.
Line drive by Johnson to right field. Another multi-hit game for the Braves third baseman. 2 singles in 3 trips and a good start to the Atlanta 7th.
This was such a good swing on what wasn't a bad pitch. It was a fastball. It looked like it had a lot of the plate. But watch how Chris stays on this pitch. Head stays on the ball, follows through, and just served it into right field. And when I say serve, I don't mean just kind of a weak punch and Judy swing either. I mean, he looked that way, hit it that way. Good start to the inning.
Let's see if Costanza's bunting. He did and fouled it away. The Braves bullpen has gotten busy, and Mike Minor is not in the on-deck circle. It's Joey Turdoslavich as the Braves bat in the 7th.
Three pitches for Mike. That's not many.
Breaking ball and a beauty.
Can't give up on his breaking ball.
Little looper out to second. And with 2 strikes, Costanza didn't try to bunt and pops out for out number 1. And it will be Turdoslavich for Mike Minor. As Joey T stands in, let's enjoy our direct TV standings. If the playoffs started today, here are the 5 clubs that would participate.
Remember, there are 2 wild card spots. Right now, those are occupied by 2 more teams in the Central Division.
Joey 5 for 25 in the big leagues with the Braves. Got the breaking ball and took it for a strike.
Remember, Mike Minor in his last start got his first career complete game, but it was a loss. He worked 8 innings against the White Sox.
And he pitched a beauty tonight. Needs some help from the bullpen to get the final 6 outs. 0-2. Was one of your keys for Minor. Taste of the playoffs. He came up big. 5 strikeouts, no walks, 7 frames against the Cardinals. Top of the order is next. Anderton Simmons, our Delta Airlines on deck batter. He's 0 for 3 for Atlanta tonight.
4 homers in his last 8 games.
Deep short. Cosma throws low and wildly past Carpenter. That's headed down the right field line. Streaking around third is Johnson. He's going to score without a throw. It's 4-1, and the Cardinals defense makes a rare error.
I don't know where Carpenter was, but Cosma had to go a long way for this, and Carpenter must have been way over in the hole, even in a double play situation, so he's late to the bag, and Cosma really didn't have a target to throw to except an empty base. It wasn't that bad a throw if Carpenter had been at the bag. He had a long way to go to get there, and nobody to back up the play.
So a fielder's choice and an error plates Johnson. Terdoslavich all the way around to third with one out, and the infield in for Simmons. What have we said all year long? Put the ball in play, something crazy might happen.
Even the best defensive team in the National League makes a mistake. That'll be an error on the shortstop, but somewhat of a mental mistake on the part of Carpenter.
Gotta make the Cardinals pay. The squeeze was on, and it's popped up to third, and scrambling back was Terdoslavich. Simmons got lumber on that ball before it hit him, and he pops out for out number 2.
I don't know that Adam Wainwright was able to make that kind of quick adjustment, but if he was, that was spectacular, because you're always taught that if you realize and read a squeeze is coming, your pitch is supposed to knock the hitter right on his keister. And that ball was riding up and in on Andrelton Simmons. There wasn't a whole lot he could do with it, except fortunately pop it up and give Terdoslavich time to get back.
Now Randy Choate has been warming in the Cardinals bullpen, and Mike Matheny is going to stick with Wainwright here with 2 outs and 118 pitches. Get your friends together to catch a game at Turner Field with the Coors Light 6-pack. Get up to 6 tickets in either the upper box or outfield pavilion for as low as $20 a ticket. A Coors Light 6-pack t-shirt and $10 of added value on each ticket. Visit Braves.com/6-pack for details today. Hayward, Freeman, then Reed Johnson. There are 2 outs in the 7th. Hayward homered to left center last time up.
We saw that 194 fastball from Wainwright early. We haven't seen anything over maybe 91 the rest of the night.
To first, and Adams has it and wins the race to the bag. The Braves cash in a rare Cardinal error and add an insurance run. 4-1 Braves. We go to the 8th. since the Waffle House came to Turner Field.
That's a good sign, because the Braves also have it smothered and covered.
Baby. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, a low price, every day. I could look at that picture all night.
Now you may have to take a break. Run down there and give us a little snack.
Mike Minor, 7 outstanding innings. He'll give way to Jordan Walden, who answers the AT&T call to the bullpen.
Boy, Jordan's been good. His last 21 outings covers 19 1/3 innings, 22 strikeouts in that period, and an 0.93 ERA. That dates back to May 29th.
He's got Cosma, then the pitcher spot, then Carpenter for the Cardinals. Daniel Descalso has grabbed a bat, and it looks like he'll hit for Wainwright. In the air to right, and right at Jason. One away in the 8th. Playing time's been a little tough to come by for Descalso of late for the Cardinals. And he pops up the first pitch. Foul ground, Chris Johnson. 2 outs. Atlanta will take that. Carpenter. He's doubled and flied out twice.
Just looking at some numbers here on St. Louis, even with their good offense, they have not been a good late inning team. They only have 1 walk-off win this year. They have 18 come from behind wins, but their largest margin on a comeback win was when they were down 2 runs.
Wow.
And when they trail after 8, they are 0-28.
If Walden can take care of business, Braves will have a chance to make that 0-29 for him. Kimber will come in.
Gretchen just told me that their 1 win when trailing after 7 innings is the fewest in the majors. And that goes, in my view, that speaks to their lack of home runs and the ability to get instant offense.
Tougher to manufacture runs when you need 3 or 4 hits.
Yeah.
Again, only time will tell what's going to happen to these 2 ball clubs. You figure, barring catastrophes, they're going to make the playoffs. And it will be a fascinating playoff matchup if it comes down to that. Carpenter lines out. We'll explore that some more as the Braves come up in the 8th inning and enjoy a 4-1 lead. Bottom of the 8th inning, and all season long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Back to our AT&T Universe trivia question tonight. Who's the only pitcher since '07 with more wins and a lower ERA than Adam Wainwright?
I'm going to stick with Roy Halladay.
I'll go with the left-handed teammate of Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee of the Phillies.
Did that say in any league?
King Felix, forgot about him.
I was saying in the National League.
I was too. Were either one of our guesses even close to Felix Hernandez?
Roy Halladay has 106 wins, but his ERA is 3.14. So that was a difference maker. And okay. Cliff Lee, 86 wins, so he was a little short there. And his ERA 3.15.
This is Randy Choate on for the Cardinals. This guy's been around a long time. He broke in 2000 with the Yankees. He's pitched a long time with the Diamondbacks, a couple of years with the Rays, the Marlins, last year the Dodgers too, now in St. Louis. And he just struck out Freddie Freeman to start the Atlanta 8th.
Well, that's a golden sombrero for Freddie tonight. That doesn't happen too often.
So Reed Johnson bats. Johnson came in when Freddie Gonzalez moved Costanza to left, so Reed bats in the place of Evan Gattis.
Choate pretty much a left-handed specialist.
Tapper toward third. Freeze with a bare hand. Wide throw. That's down the line. And Johnson is safe at first.
When we say left-handed specialist, primarily against left-handed hitters. They're hitting only 192 against him. Right-handers a little better, but this is a nice swinging bunt by Reed. Good effort by Freeze, but a bad throw. It should go as a base hit.
Johnson at first, McCann in the box. It is an infield hit. Bounces one foul. Amazing note about Randy Choate, the Cardinals media guide. He played at Florida State. Was 13-3 in 1997. Was one of 6 Florida State Seminoles taken in the draft that year.
Wow.
Including J.D. Drew. He was the number 2 overall pick by the Phillies. To first. And the step on the bag is there. Adams will try to run down Reed Johnson, and the Cardinals do with the tag applied by Cosma. Second double play turned by St. Louis, but now they've got a tangle with Craig Kimbrell, who's on to protect a 4-1 lead going to the ninth. After 8, our SunTrust shining moment tonight is a major accomplishment by Brave starter Mike Minor.
It was a beautiful outing. Gave up the home run early to Molina on the first pitch that Molina saw in the second inning, and he didn't give up much of anything after that. A couple of doubles, no walks. That was a key to his night. 5 strikeouts, really working in and out, stayed out of the middle of the plate, and in line for his 10th win of the year in out-dueling Adam Wainwright.
Some more defensive changes for Atlanta. Paul Janisch has checked into play third base. And Craig Kimbrell is on to try to finish off Minor's masterpiece. They'll have to face John Jay to get things started for the Cardinals.
Craig's last 5 outings, 5 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts in those 5 innings with a couple of walks.
Looking for number 29 tonight. A whole lot of thunder in this Cardinal lineup. And too high for ball 1 to John Jay.
His career numbers against the Cardinals, he has 3 saves and 5 opportunities, but a 4.32 ERA.
Bit tardy. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wow, huge crowd tonight. A sellout of 50,124.
Might be the biggest in the year. Might be bigger than opening day.
At the knees, strike 2. You bet he did. Jay is out number 1.
Tonight for our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. Craig Kimbrell the subject tonight. Last 24 games, a perfect 18 for 18 in saves. 38 strikeouts in 24 innings. And he has cut down on those walks. There was a stretch there where it seemed like a walking outing.
So after the K for Jay, Beltran digs in and bats from the left side. 0 for 3.
Braves had 51 plus for opening day. So almost as many as opening day tonight. Great crowd.
Outside, ball 2. The Mets Nationals doubleheader is complete, and they split it. Washington won 2-1. That was the game started by Matt Harvey. Don't know if he factored into the decision or not. Mets won game 1 11-0 today. The Phillies lost in Miami 2-0. So that's Pittsburgh. I beg your pardon. Pittsburgh lost in Miami 2-0. The Phillies
lost in Detroit.
Thank you. 2-1 was that score.
Miami's playing some good baseball.
Pointed out in New York, they have the best record in the division since June 6th.
Troy Hawkins took that loss in game 2 for the Mets.
Just missed Beltran. 3 balls and a strike. And Beltran walks with 1 out. After the Cardinals leave town, the Rockies are here for a 4-game series Monday through Thursday. Big promotional night is Monday night, the $8 Sport Clips Monday night chop ticket, and the Coca-Cola 2 for $30 Tuesday tickets. Get them at Braves.com.
Ryan Zimmerman hit a walk-off homer for the Nationals to win Game 2 of that doubleheader.
Alan Craig is the hitter. It is 0 for 3. A 9-game hitting streak interrupted in the last Cardinal game, and Kimbrel's hoping to keep him hitless tonight. Want to get him out because Molina's on deck and has the potential to represent the tying run, and he's already gone deep.
Good call by McCann there. A walk, then ball 1 to Craig, and he called something other than the fastball. And he dropped that good curveball in there. And his best fastball at 98. He was late on it.
Let's see what Craig has in mind for his wipeout pitch of Alan Craig. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And the Cardinals mounted that miraculous charge to get to the playoffs 2 years ago and knocked the Braves out on the last day of the season. It started on a series in St. Louis where the Braves had a chance to really put them away, but they got to Kimbrel, he blew the save, and the Cardinals went red hot.
They swept the series. That's the Tony La Russa happy flight team rallying cry, and that was you're right, the start of their renaissance.
Yeah, that was the first game of that series.
Yep. It's funny how it works. The Braves won 1 game. Cardinals probably don't make the playoffs. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Fans are booing, but I don't think that was close. Nope.
The 2-2 pitch. Craig was right on it, fouled it back.
His high average tells you that he hits the ball to all parts of the ballpark. Remember, he lined out to right. Hayward made the good catch on him in the 4th inning. If you pitch him away, even something hard away, he's going to try to take it that way.
Breaking ball struck him out looking. You look at 97, and then he drops that on you at the knees.
Well, this was a bow locker. This caused him to flinch. This is when you don't know what to do because you're worried that the ball coming out of his hand is coming right at you, and everything seizes in your body.
Something about winding your watch?
Something about it.
Yeah. Now 50,000 rise as 1. Molina, the hitter. Ground ball to short. Simmons has it, and the Braves have won Game 1 against the Cardinals. Boy, what a big win for Atlanta. Mike Minor was masterful. The Braves bullpen shut him down, and the Braves beat Adam Wainwright, who falls for the first time here in Atlanta. 4-1 your final score. We'll recap it for you right after this.